And welcome, welcome, welcome. Oh my goodness. It's amazing, thankful Thursday. And we're getting ready to take over. Not only we're getting ready to take over, we're in the clubhouse. We are also on YouTube. You can find us right there on Facebook. And my goodness, guys, we are right on the Global Women Wealth Warriors Clubhouse, as well as we're on the Global Women Wealth Warriors YouTube. And I got a special guest, and I'm going to look for my special guest so we can both be live, not only on YouTube, Facebook, as well as in the clubhouse, but we want to make sure that we're bringing this great energy to you. Today is Thursday. Not only is it Takeover Thursday, but this is the day that we're looking so forward to bringing you health tips, health regimens that's going to help you not only striving in your best, but we're focusing on that 31 day for cancer and where it relates to how we show up in pink every day. Today I wore something special. I wore my pink lipstick so I could come right into your house. We take our interviews from the clubhouse and bring it right there into your house for our lunch and soar. And today I'm introducing one of the most special guests. That's not only is he an amazing health specialist, but he's also a man that truly cares about how he shows up. So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to look for him I see him right here, guys. I'm going to add him. So now Michael and I will be live here on the YouTube, on our Instagram, and I'm going to bring the man himself. He started his own podcast. That's right. In addition to that, it's called He Fluence. We always so used to hearing her fluence, but it's He Fluence. And he started this. He has over 125 episodes. Since 2019, he received monumental business awards. And most importantly, he loves striving. He's not only being recognized and voted on Forbes Inc. as the Huffington Post, as well as one of the #1 entrepreneur event of the year for the past 5 years. That's right, guys, 5 years. But he's a man that loves to work out. He's a biker. He's a golfer. We got so much great things in common. And I'm so excited to bring the man up himself, Mr. Michael Huey. Woo, woo, woo,
What's
woo,
up,
woo,
Renee?
woo. How are you
How are
doing
you?
today, Michael? We're like both here. We're like live right here on our Instagram, as well as we're live right here on YouTube, as well as we're in the clubhouse. How are you doing today, my friend?
I'm doing fantastic. I'm making sure that there's no echo because somebody was telling me there was a little bit of an echo with us. So I was making
That's
sure.
because you got all those special gadgets. That's why.
All right. I think that's better. I got them all turned off now. So we're good now, I think.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, Michael, you look incredible. Yes, you do. And happy Thursday to you, my friend.
Happy Thursday, my friend.
Yes. Michael, we have been really talking heavily about health and wellness. And I know this is a sweet spot for you, especially because you are a man that's making it happen where it relates to just showing up in your best health possible. And we've been talking about some of our regimens. Now, you know what, Michael? Everybody pretty much have been talking about the importance of drinking water. Water, water, water is like our #1 regimen. But one of the ladies in the clubhouse, Miss Queen Vicky, she was talking about banana pills, Michael. I was like, really? The banana pills as well? So, Michael, why don't you share with us not only who you are, where you're based out of, but also what are some of your regimens that you enjoy doing?
Awesome. We do sound like we have a little bit of an echo there, Renee. So yeah, I don't know why that's doing
Yeah,
that.
I don't know why.
I got everything turned off.
Okay.
I want to mute Instagram, so maybe that's the issue. All
All
right,
right.
there we go. Does that sound better? Yeah, that sounds better.
Yes.
And I'll unmic over
Let's
here
make
on.
sure everybody can hear us on the clubhouse. If you could see
I'm
us
gonna
and
unmute on
on the
Clubhouse so that you
clubhouse,
can hear me. Okay.
let us know as well.
All right.
If
Can
you're on the
everybody hear me on
clubhouse,
Clubhouse too?
yes, we're in the clubhouse. We're on Instagram as well as we're on Facebook. If you guys can hear us, put some yellow hearts in the chat.
Awesome.
Yes.
So Renee, thank you so much. Let me just say this before we get started. It's an honor to be able to be on a platform where Renee is inspiring women, right? And I literally started He-Fluence for men. And my wife said, well, what about the women? And we had all these women wanting to come into our program. So I linked arms with my wife and we started working with women and we started encouraging women and we started inspiring women. And, it's obviously, if you look, it's based around health, Renee,
Mhm.
but we believe in the spiritual aspect of it. We believe in the uh, spirit, soul, and body part of it, and empowerment of how it all links together. I did a talk earlier for a conference that I'm going to be speaking at on unforgiveness and
Mm.
how that relates to health issues and just the whole platform. My mentor and coach Israel Duran is spending time with my other mentor, Dr. Myron Golden, out in uh,
Yeah,
Idaho. I just spent last Friday, Myron and I played golf together. And obviously, if I'm going to spend time with my mentor, I'm going to pick his brain, right? And,
absolutely.
yeah, Renee
Best way to do it is by
knows
playing golf. I know.
in the world, right? And so
Right.
that's what we do. We inspire people to walk in purpose. And the way we do it from a health perspective is, I believe, in the top 1%. One of my closest friends and mentors, Dr. Eric Thomas. Most of you know him. He's a motivational speaker. We text each other and hold each other accountable on a weekly basis. He said to me, Mike, your impact is bigger than what you're thinking and what you're doing. And so he said, hey, I'm glad you're working with women now too, because women deserve to have that same impact and that same respect. I always say probably one of the greatest books, Renee, I ever read when it comes to relationships is a book called Love and Respect, because women want to be loved and men want to be respected. That can either be a healthy cycle or a vicious cycle. We can pick
You got
that,
to join us on our Fridays to talk about that.
right? So yeah, so that's why I'm here. I'm here to serve. I'm here to inspire, and I'm here to stay focused on my core values, which are integrity, humility, transparency, and honesty and love, because I believe those things are what keeps me rooted and grounded. I want to wake up every day, be better than I was the day before, be better next week than I was this week. And so thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here and share.
I truly love those core values. And that's what really complements us. I think we have a little bit of a hot mic in the clubhouse. That's what truly complements our energy and our synergy alongside with just the purpose of what we're doing. I know, Michael, you and I met probably in the beginning stages right there in the clubhouse. And I have to say, it probably was right there with the Breakfast with Champions. And my goodness, Glenn Lundy has made sure he made some incredible connections being there, over 175,000 relationships that he has cultivated over the years. But one of the things I truly appreciate is how we evolve, how we continue on finding our greatness. And as you said, it's important for us to learn a little bit more every day, applying it so therefore we can be about the results that we need to have, right? About the results. And that's what it's really all boils down to. And I'm going to also put this plug in. Oh, yes, I am. Golf with you alongside with Myron any day of the week. Put me on a check mark for that. And truly, we have to get Eric back in this. I was supposed to be over there in Nashville when he did his power conference there with Mr. Don alongside with Sean Lashley. I didn't get a chance to go, but I would truly, truly love to interview him and bring him on the conversation as well.
I'll hook
Because
you up. I'll hook you
thank you.
up, girl. I'll
Thank
hook
you. We
you up.
can do that all together because you know what? It's really about how we keep showing up for the community, how we show up for the community. It doesn't make sense if Renee Noor is the only one healthy and everybody else starving, or if everybody else is not surviving. One of the greatest things that we have with the GW3 Club, it's truly just that, the society that want to see everyone win at their ultimate excellence. Thanks to Miss Vandy Flake, we got reintroduced, who I truly appreciate Vandy for everything that she does, also for the health and wellness space. Now, one of the things I want to ask you, Mike, because a lot of people have truly been, I guess, maybe going against the grain. Sometimes we know what we're not supposed to do, but we do it anyway. So talk to us a little bit more in regard to, if we don't really take our health seriously, what could be some of our consequences or even some of those side effects if we don't take our health seriously? Because I'm living in my best nights and my best days right now at 52, and I love my age. But I want to make sure I can continue on living in my greatest, by the time I hit 62 and 72. My grandmother passed away. She was 98. My father passed away when he was 89. So I know the foods that they ate, we don't have the same things, especially for my grandmother. So it's all new processed things. So what is so important for us to not only focus on the food that we're eating, but also understanding if we don't, certain foods will be eating us. Please share,
Oh,
Michael.
no, that's awesome. And it's funny. I saw that my wife was on, and her grandmother lived to be 98. I recently lost my mom. My mom was in great health, besides just some of the issues that she struggled with from vaccination and COVID and some of the other stuff that she really went downhill with. But Lisa's grandmother lived to be 98. My grandfather was an epitome of health. So I challenged myself. Renee, usually when we think about our health, we think about accountability, right? Like somebody to hold us accountable, right? One of my closest friends in business and in life, Nicholas Barely, 27-year-old millionaire, great kid. I was in his mastermind for 2 years. He said accountability, and this was the greatest definition I'd ever heard, Renee. And how many of you that are listening today know that we can learn from those that are younger than us, right? We can absolutely learn from those that are youngest.
Absolutely.
I'm 54. I feel like I'm 34, but I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I'm still evolving. I had a surgery, Renee, last December, and the doctor said, "Well, this is just the straw that broke the camel's back." And me as a man of God, I said, "No, I don't receive that." And now I'm back doing everything that he told me I would not be capable of doing. Like this morning, I did sprints. He said, "You'll never do sprints again." I did all these things because I believe that it starts with our mindset, right?
Oh, yes.
If we're not, a lot of people say, "Oh, I'm old," or it's just too much work, or uh, I don't have anybody to help me, or I don't know what to do. Renee creates a space for all of you to know what to do in your health, in your relationships, in your wealth, and everybody wins. Like Vandy just said it, everybody wins, right? Like the
Everyone wins.
biggest piece behind this is, and this is the definition, Renee, that Nicholas used for accountability. He said that accountability is someone holding you, meaning all of us, accountable for our abilities. Think about it again one more time. That's someone holding us, Renee, Michael, Lisa, whoever that may be, all of you listening, accountable for your abilities. God has given us all the ability to change every single day. We have to create an identity, and the identity has to be separated from what we hear in the world, because that's all these limiting beliefs and these lies, and you got to do this, and there's one size fits all, and there's all of this. But Renee, I read a book for the third time back in January called Boundaries. Okay. And I literally set up boundaries in my life so that I can be that person. My identity can be in the person that God called me to be. When my spiritual father, I called him yesterday, and he was emotional, and he was crying a little bit. And he said, "I just want to tell you how proud of you I am, the man that you've become. I've learned from you." I sat at his feet for 5 days when we thought the storm was going to come. And I just soaked in all his wisdom, because we hear this, Renee, and I think it's sometimes cliche-ish. And I'll land with this, because I think this is super important that everybody hears this, is that the only difference between the wisdom and the knowledge that we learn when it comes to our health is the action that we take from the wisdom that we gain. A lot of people gain wisdom. I mean, think about it. How does God say we lack wisdom? It's because we don't ask for it.
That's right.
Right. So and what does he say? He says he'll freely give it to us. And let me just say this. There's a lot of difference between the wisdom that comes from God and the wisdom that I've been studying in my field from 30 years. Yes, that's a lot of time spent. But that combination with the wisdom that comes from God and the people that I surround myself is how I stay focused. It's how I keep those boundaries in. And I think that that's super important, Renee, that we are not hearing from 20 different people on what we should do, right? Like eat this, do this, do this. We can take what's good and focus on one thing each day to become better. It's why I created this platform that I'm launching in November. And it was challenged by me, by my mentors, by Israel and by Dr. Golden and by Eric, because they're like, you have a bigger reach. What you're doing, nobody's doing. Like, you're helping people understand themselves. When they look in the mirror, we don't have to say, oh, only Renee's going to succeed. Only Michael's going to succeed. No, they can look at themselves in the mirror and say, I'm going to succeed. And that's what I think is important, Renee.
I love it, Michael. Can everyone, whether you're on the Clubhouse, whether you're on Instagram, whether you're right there on YouTube, as well as on Facebook, hashtag I am going to succeed, and then put some yellow hearts behind it as well. I am going to succeed. You know, the greatest things which you just poured in, you know, not only is it important for us to ask, Michael, a lot of us just don't have the questions, right? Or we just don't know. And one of the things we have to understand, it's okay if you don't know, but don't give up and don't give in. And I said this is what I quoted this week. I am the storm. I need everyone to put that in. I am the storm. When you know you are the storm, it's up to you to weather everything. It's up to you to create the foundation of what you need to not only have, but you hear Michael and I, we're already talking about collaborating with some others who's already got the results that you need. You know, Michael, we just successfully completed another one of our challenges. We've done 3 this year. The first one was our 90-day challenge, which incorporated our 75 hard. And then from there, we went into, I know, right? And we're going to do that one again. And then from there, we did our 14-day challenge. And then we picked that up right into our 21-day challenge with Dr. Tangi, alongside with the lady herself, that's fabulous Miss Jackie. And you know, what we realized throughout each one of those challenges, it helped us to realize and it helped us to learn a little bit more about ourselves. And you know, the greatest thing we've been able to do also, Michael, is read a book every time we do a challenge. So now it's time for us to pick up another challenge. And you mentioned a great book just while you were speaking. You need to share with that book what that book is, so we can make sure we put that one in the chat. Okay.
I'll say this, Renee, about that
Yes.
book. I guess there's a reason why I read it 3 times.
3 times. That's right.
Right.
Not
I
once,
literally
not twice,
wrote,
but 3
yeah,
times.
yeah. I read it once in my 20s because my spiritual father said, if you don't get your act together, and you're going to miss all these things that God has for you, right? And how many of you know sometimes it takes us some time to get our act together, right? It's okay, right?
That's right.
But when I read it this time, it's by Dr. Townsend and Dr. Cloud. Okay, it's called Boundaries. All right, you got to read it, guys. Every human should read it, right? And the reason I say that is this is so funny. And Renee, I think you've heard me say this before. I don't believe in coincidence, right? Like, I believe that our footsteps are ordained, right? We have to acknowledge those footsteps. Sometimes, you know, somebody comes into our life and we're like, oh, darn it, I missed it with that person. And then God brings it back around, but through somebody else. Even like with us, like, you know, we've been wanting to connect, and somebody else just comes in and does that connection because we're patient. It actually says those who wait on the Lord, right? Like, wait on his patience. His patience comes. And the reason the funny thing about this is one of my new clients, I have a lot of coaches that come to my business for their health, because they want to be able to use these things to help their clients, right? And one of them has been referring a lot of people to me, and she is now at the Townsend Institute getting her doctorate degree in psychology from Dr. Townsend, who wrote the exact book that I just finished reading. So no coincidence there. But that book, I would say, Renee, for a lot of people, and will be a game changer. It'll be a game changer because the title of that book, From Boundaries, there's a little subtitle that says when to say yes and when to say no, and how to know when to do that. How many people that are listening today would like to know when to say yes and when to say no, so that we have that gap bridged in the success that we have? My pastor, Renee, I'll lay in with this. My pastor says this to me all the time. He says, and he's very, very open when he says things. Hey, you can always say no to me, but I'd rather you say yes when you're supposed to say yes, and no when you're supposed to say no. And I think when we're calm and we're still, and we I know those boundaries that we have, it allows us to know when to say yes and when to say no. So yeah,
I
great.
love it. Absolutely. Can someone please put in there, not only boundaries, but appreciating the still, appreciating the still, and realizing also, Michael, as you share, is sometimes it's not about our timing. It is about God's timing. It's God's timing. And sometimes what we have to do, we have to keep on working through the process, but you just have to trust it, have faith, and just keep on believing in that it will happen. Sometimes we want to see those six packs happen overnight, Michael, and that's impossible. It's
Yep.
truly impossible. You really have to go through Miss Jackie's regimen a little bit longer than just one or two routines. But when you stick to it after 21 days, after 30 days, after 90 days, you start really having more of not only results, but a regimen that you can create to call a lifestyle. And that's one of the things we want to focus on, helping you to have that healthier lifestyle through not only education, information, but also application, because you're going to have to apply it, right, Michael? We're going to have to apply it. And right now, Michael, guess what? We have our fabulous team that's in London right now in the clubhouse, and we're going to bring them on because they're getting ready to do the amazing 31 days. We've been doing this 5-city series that consists of 31 days we wear pink, and it's all because of breast cancer. And we know also with breast cancer, it's about what? Those eating habits as well. We have the fabulous and the fierce Miss Ade alongside with Asia, as well as we have some of the other beautiful ladies that's there in London. They're going to be meeting up this weekend. That's right, this weekend. And they're going to talk about the meetup. We kicked it off in the DMV area. The second one was in New York City. And now we're headed to London. That's right, we're headed to London to knock out this breast cancer, to bring about more awareness, but most importantly, to help impact and change lives. So Miss Ade, are you there in the clubhouse, beautiful?
Oh, yes, I am.
Oh my
I
goodness.
am so excited about the weekend. I really am. I have been sorting out my headgear, my outfit, so that I can really represent London.
Woo, woo, woo. I know. I wish I was there. Oh my God.
Go ahead.
Miss
Asia has really done a great job in finding a beautiful venue, and I know she was going to tell us all about it. Not to make you jealous, but
I know. We're already jealous. Can someone please in the clubhouse, guys, as well as if you're watching us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, let's put up, how about this, some UK flags everywhere, because GW3 goes to London. That's right. We have our London chapter. They're getting ready to kick off breast cancer. And you know what, Miss Ade, alongside with Asia, I just love you guys so much. I am so jealous, but it's a good jealous, because you know why? You guys are doing something to impact women and men with breast cancer in London. So please, Asia, how you doing, beautiful? We love to hear your voice as well.
hello, good evening. I'm so excited that I can't wait. So yeah, just like Ade, I've been, sorting out my outfits, all pink. I'm making sure I've got something pink on in this month, at least shoes, scarf, brooch, something pink. But yeah, obviously on Saturdays all pink, and I cannot wait. It's beautiful. The ladies are amazing, and of course for the good cause, which we all know that it's important for us to do something about it, think about it. Trying to be healthy this month. I'm trying my best to at least do 4 workouts a week, because of course remaining healthy and doing healthy activities is important to keep away all those illnesses. So yeah, I'm so excited.
We are so proud of you guys. We're so proud of you. And you know what? The queen herself, she's the queen of questions. We're going to definitely have Miss Ade to ask Michael a question, because I know, Miss Ade, you want to do that. But Asia, I want to say thank you all for coordinating not only everybody's energy and their time. Miss Winnie, and we got Miss Tash Queen. Now, Tash Queen, Michael, I had the opportunity of meeting her right on the app as well. We connected and we met in Zanzibar, Tanzania. Oh my goodness. So she was a part of that mission with us when we went there in March to pour right back into those phenomenal women. And not only were we able to impact the lives of ladies who were in poverty, we brought them out of poverty into a 5-star hotel, had them to be a part of our fashion show. In addition to that, we empowered them. We provided them with tools as well as sewing machines, so therefore they could take their business to a whole nother level. And right now, our girl Tash just came back from Tanzania. Her hometown is Zanzibar. I'm in Tanzania. So we're looking forward to seeing her right there in London. But Miss Addie, you know you're the queen of questions. What question would you like to pour into our very own Michael Huey?
The question I'd like to ask is around the health. The fact that sometimes we can go on various diets or avoidance of different foods, but actually, because we haven't got the right awareness of, say, our blood type or the things that are good for us, it actually causes more challenge than good. What's your view about that?
That's a great question, Addie. And I'm going to turn myself down over here on Clubhouse so that you guys can hear me. I just wanted to hear your question because I think what's super important about the bigger picture is you heard what Addie said. I don't believe there's a one size fits all. I do believe there's certain things that you have to do, but my most important thing, and we work with a lot of people in the UK, which is great. And I told Renee I'd like to pray over you guys about your event also, because I think it's super important that we have global connections, like go to the ends of the earth, right? Create disciples, really. And I believe that that's what Renee is doing with her ministry, because that's what this is about. This is a ministry, global, the global club, the GW3 is a ministry. It's reaching people that need help and are looking for help. And so, Addie, what I would say is the most important thing when it comes to our health is richness and diversity. And I do DNA testing to find out about, what's right, foods are right for you, what sensitivities you have. Many people that come on to Clubhouse have went through my program. Many of them have implemented those in their programs to help people. But here's the number one key that I think it's super important, okay, is to create richness and diversity. If you look at science research, the most validated research is on the Mediterranean lifestyle, right? But then we have a vegan lifestyle, and we have a pescatarian, and we have paleo, we have keto. Keto craze became very big, right? But what we have to realize is it may not work for you. You may be struggling with hormones. You may have eaten the same foods, but here's the one bottom line. I was part of a lot of huge testing done over the last 2 to 3 years. Obviously, COVID changed a lot of things for a lot of people, right? We dove into the science. I'm interviewing tomorrow Dr. Christine Parks on my podcast, and we're going to talk about this very question that Addie just asked. And here's my number one response to this. And I hope that you guys will write this down, because here's our biggest problem that I believe that comes to our health is richness and diversity. Okay. Richness and diversity means that we're rotating the foods that we're eating. We're not eating the dairies and the things that we know we're not supposed to eat, but we're rotating the foods that we eat. We're staying away from the high fructose corn syrup. We're staying away from the processed foods and the alcohol and the things that we know we shouldn't do. But here's what these tests showed, that only 10% of us that are listening to my voice today rotate the foods that they eat and eat different foods. And I'm sure if I had a raise of hands of everybody that's on here, most of you would say that you eat a lot of the same foods all the time, right? You just do. It's why? Because we're preachers of habit. We get into a flow, and maybe we like the way we look or the way we feel. And we just keep doing that. And then all of a sudden one day, like one of my friends from church just did, who she thought she was super, super healthy. And if you looked at her, you would say, she's healthy, she's fit, she's beautiful. She had her gallbladder taken out. And she said, Michael, I wish I would have listened to you 3 years ago. I just kept eating the same things over and over and over. And my gut was completely destroyed, and it affected my gallbladder and the way my food digested. So that would be one of the really cool things that I would tell you. And if you go to my Instagram, we have a lot of great downloads that you can download, and just download the one on richness and diversity. It's incredible. It'll teach you how to rotate the foods. And guys, it's related to almost every autoimmune disorder, from PCOS to chronic fatigue to fibromyalgia to all of that stuff. But that's what I would say the most important thing is learn to rotate the foods that you eat. Learn to eat more fruits and vegetables and seeds, and eat organically, and eat plant-based if you can, but then find out what's rich for you and what's diverse, and then rotate those foods that you eat. I do this. Last thing I'll say, I do this because my wife is here. She knows I do all the cooking. Lady Jules, hey, how you doing? Good to see you too. Is that I've picked the fruits and vegetables that I eat this week. I don't eat this week or the following week. So I go in a 3-week period of time, and then I rotate those back in. So I hope that helps. Excuse me.
Addie, did that help? Did that answer your question?
Oh, most definitely, because just like Michael said, we really do need to understand our bodies. We need to understand what works for us. And I just loved the terminology of diversity in the way in which we choose what we eat, but with the understanding of the impact of what we eat. So thank you.
Absolutely. That was an aha moment, Michael. I'm letting you know it was one of my aha moments, Miss Ade, because he talked about the whole richness and diversity, but also eating the same foods over and over again. I'm a habit of that. Yes, I am guilty of that because I love blueberries, and bananas. Let me tell you guys about the bananas. I do not like bananas, but after today, I'm going to go stock up on some bananas and just put it all in my face, Michael, all in my face. Okay.
Banana peels it is.
Yeah. Banana peels. Here we come,
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Well, I want to also see if Miss Asia, if you have a question as well with the man himself, Mr. Michael. Now, Michael, this is pretty much a bad time because they're getting ready to go and enjoy themselves this weekend. And that's one of the things, I shared with Miss Jackie. As of the 15th, we're going to go back into a 14-day, just kind of like getting getting ready to start, because you got to do detoxing too. Detoxing
every year. I just took 1,400 women and men through a detox in the last 10 months. So
wow.
I believe you should do it for at least 15 to 30 days, once a year, every year.
Yes. Well, I know we're going to start doing our detox. And even like when we kicked off our 21-day challenge, that was the first thing we did. We had to do that detox. So within the 14-day challenge, this time, what we're going to do is like start gradually taking out maybe 3 things that we need to remove, and then increasing it with 3 things that we need in our diet, right? So therefore, and I wouldn't say diet, because it's more about our routine.
Lifestyle, yeah.
Lifestyle. It's a routine and lifestyle. No more diets here. And then afterwards, guess what, Michael? 75 hard. Here we come. Here we come. That really helped me within the Breakfast with Champions. Oh my God. It literally helped me to drop 2 dress sizes. And I needed to do that because I got a little comfortable, right? And I needed to have something of a little bit more of a challenge. But I just want to say hello to not only Lady Jules, Malika Star. We see you, Sandra, as well as we see Miss Sunday, beautiful. We have so many people right there. We see Miss Stars Tina as well. We also see so many people that's on our Instagram. Hello, hello, hello. And then we have so many that's right here on our YouTube. We see you, Miss Vandy Flakes. We see you also. I can't pronounce that one right there. With Lisa. I guess that's with Lisa. Yeah, that was a long.
Biohacking with Lisa. That's probably my wife. Yes.
Oh, hey,
okay.
Lisa. Oh,
Come
Lisa,
on,
the
girl.
wife is tuned in with us as well. And then we have a house full right there in the clubhouse. We have Lena alongside with Dr. Z. Miss Cheryl, we have Miss Asia, Yolanda, We have Miss V alongside with Miss Jackie, Miss Tahita alongside with Jay Hay, as well as Nina and so many others that's right there live in the clubhouse. So I know for sure, we have others that have a question. I see Miss Asia on the phone right now. But if you're on the YouTube and you have a question for Michael, or if you're right there on Instagram, if you have a question for Michael, or even in the clubhouse and you have a question for Michael, let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Not only we're kicking off for our doing our series, but we're kicking off launching right there in London with our London chapter for the GW3 Warriors. And we're so excited for that community, the society there, led by Miss Ade, alongside with Winnie, as well as Miss Asia. It's going to be incredible. And then afterwards, the last series, Michael, is in Chicago. That's where we'll be closing out the series in Chicago.
Where my wife is from. That's where my wife is from.
Oh my! I was about to say, wait, hold on.
Come on, that's where my wife is from. That's where my wife is from.
Awesome.
You're gonna have to tell us all about that. I'm excited.
Okay, so Miss Jackie, alongside with Dr. Tangi, they're going to be taking on that, and they're going to be closing out the series next weekend. We'll be in Atlanta, and we're going to have an incredible time there. And for those who are in Atlanta market, please DM us because we love to connect with you. We're celebrating 31 breast cancer survivors as well as thrivers. That's right, 31. And my goodness, we even have our queen herself, Miss Cheryl L. Brown, that's in the house. Miss Cheryl, do you have a question that you'd like to pour into Michael if you are available in the clubhouse? Cheryl?
Not as a kid, but I was interested. Well, yes, I do. Coaching. I see that you mentioned about that you do coaching, holistic. What would you tell cancer patients that's listening what they should use while going through treatment?
Ooh, that's good.
That's a really great question, Cheryl.
I'm going to be real careful and tiptoe around just a little bit,
Yes.
okay? Because
Michael.
I want you to say that I don't ever tell anybody that we treat, prevent, or cure or mitigate any diseases that we work with, right? I think a couple really big things that I teach cancer patients, and treating cancer patients puts a big bullseye on your back and on your chest, really, because the pharmaceutical companies do not want, and even some of the cancer research companies, they don't want women to or men to overcome these type of things, right? And a couple of the things that I'm really big on is when you have those genes that activate the breast cancer, the MTFR and all the others that do that, you have to find a way to reverse those genes away from the cancer and from the disease, right? And so there's a couple things that you can do. I believe alkalining your body is number one. Yes. That means you're drinking alkaline water. Number two is I believe that you should go towards a whole plant-based, as Renee says, a lifestyle, no diets. We don't believe in diets, okay? And I believe that you should fast. I believe fasting is creating autophagy for cancer is significant. I am going to say one other thing, and the Anti-Cancer Foundation, which is in Atlanta, just did a whole research on a pathway in your body called NRF2, nuclear respiratory factor 2. Okay. And that's activating the genes that cause breast cancer to go in the opposite direction of the disease. So if you have colon cancer or breast cancer, there's a certain amount of genes in your body that need to be activated away from that. Alkaline in your body can do that. Fasting can do that. Sleeping, getting a lot of great sleep, okay? And then activating this pathway in your body called NRF2. And that's a pathway that constantly works inside the cell. And that's what we need. This is the last thing I'll say about that question that Cheryl asked, okay? Is that we are no longer in the 20th century. Okay. I don't take 40 supplements a day anymore. I don't have to. And I believe that's why I don't have, at 54, I don't have crow's feet and lines on my head and bags under my eyes. And I'm able to do the thing, teaching my body to heal itself at the cellular level. And that's what our body tells. You heard Renee say it in the very beginning. I believe our body has a mechanism at the cellular level to teach our body to heal itself. But we have to tap into those systems because as we've aged or as we've gotten a disease or a cancer, it's not an identity. It's just a thing for us to learn how to teach the body to heal it. And I believe that these are a couple quick things that you can do. And I would tell you that if you look at the Western medicine side of this, okay, the chemotherapy and the radiation, those that implement the 4 things that I just told you have a 98% better chance at overcoming cancer than those that don't implement those 4 things, even if they decide to go in to the Western medicine side. So I have a client right here in Orlando that I just worked with that did it holistically and 5 years ago, and has now been breast cancer free for 5 years. So those are a couple things that I would implement from a cellular standpoint and from a physical standpoint. Hope that helped, Cheryl.
Did that help you, Cheryl?
It most definitely did. Thank you so much for sharing.
Absolutely. You know, one of the other things as well, you know, Michael, one of the greatest things, thanks to Vandy, because Vandy has been helping me tremendously. It's 2 things that I have been doing in addition to not only getting more rest. Everyone know by 9:30, if you call Renee Noor, chances are you're going to miss her because she's getting her beauty rest. I do not interfere with my beauty rest, right? I like to sleep upside down like a bat so I can't be disturbed, okay? In addition to that, I love drinking water. I know, right? I love drinking water, and I truly enjoy exercising. But one of the things I've been doing now, thanks to Vandy, is the collagen. The collagen has truly helped tremendously, the collagen. And with the collagen,
game changer.
I know it's a game changer, right? And it's not only for women, it's for men as well. That's why
I drink it every day. Every day.
Every day, right? It has as you said, the NRF2 pathway is in the protendin. And that is that yellow pill that I take in addition to
Thank God.
And you know what? I just truly love it. So I know for sure those who needed to get that. And then the other thing that I do, Michael, I do my enzyme treatment for my face. Oh yeah, that enzyme treatment for my hands and my face. And I already have Dr. Juanita Bonds. She says, you're long overdue. Get on in here. That has truly been a game changer because my skin now is glowing. When I don't have on makeup, it's still like it's radiant. And it's because she's pumping my body with water. She's literally pumping it with water. And those are some of the things that we take for granted. That's why I said from the very beginning, everyone said, I am water. I am
70% of my body's water. I am water.
Yes, you have to start incorporating more of that water into your system each and every day. And you know, where we are, this is just the beginning, Michael. We know we're going to put together a whole health series that's going to help transform even more lives. And I love what you're doing over there. And then I got to ask this, do you like yoga? Because I know we like golf. We truly like working out. So do you like yoga?
I will say this. I'm more of a Pilates than yoga. And my friend Niku Loesch, who I actually met on Breakfast with Champions, who's in Phoenix, and I'm going to get to see her next week. I'm going to get to see Vandy next week too. Yay!
Yes, I know.
And one of the things that I really like about my wife just typed in on Instagram, I am water, is the big thing. I take some of my clients through a variety of exercises.
Yes.
And a friend of mine, we did one of Niku's Pilates classes. And he's like, dude, I got to put this in my regimen more often because it's Renee, here's what it is. You said it. It goes back to the diversity. Okay. The diversity that we do. We have to rotate the things that we do, whether that's, and at certain ages, there's certain things that women shouldn't be doing. And there's certain things that men shouldn't be doing. Right. So we have to get the education of where we are in life, whether we're 30 or 50 like us, right? Mm-hmm. We have to know what's best for Renee, what's best for Mike, what's best for Cheryl, what's best for Vandy, what's better. And I think that that's what separates us when we're looking at longevity and we're looking at, but I'm a more of a Pilates person than a yoga person, but you never know. We'll see.
I know, right? Well, you know what? I've never done the Pilates, but my first time doing Zumba was with Dr. Angie. I know. I love the Zumba. We
My client does Zumba. My buddy I was just telling you about that couldn't do Pilates. He does Zumba 3 days a week, and he lost 100 pounds doing Zumba. So
Zumba. Oh my God. Let me tell you, that right there, I was like, oh, we getting out. Okay, we're back in the club. We were getting it on, had so much fun, and I'm looking forward to that. And that's the thing too. Find what really works for you, but you gotta have fun with this, guys, because life is truly what you make of it. It truly is. So why not choose happiness? Okay. Why not choose happiness and have fun with everything that we're doing? Okay. That's something that's important. So right now, Michael, we've had a hopeful, so explosive. You got things knocking over here, Michael.
I was about to say,
I know.
I was going to lose you for a minute. Where'd Renee go?
I know Renee is right here. She's not going anywhere. But Michael, can you provide us with some closing words as we wrap up our live segment right here on GW3 Live with our Lunch and Soar from our YouTube, Instagram, as well as Facebook? Oh my God, we cut up today, even on that, and then we'll return back into the clubhouse because we have more questions. But before you do that, we have some of our other ladies that's joined us. We have Miss Winnie that's going to be right there in London alongside with Miss Erica that's also going to be in London with the girls as they're kicking off our 31 days in pink. That's right. They're going to be doing that this weekend. Miss Winnie, how are you doing, beautiful? Miss Winnie's originally from Kenya, and she's residing right there in London. And also Miss Erica's over there in London. Miss Winnie, can you hear my voice?
Yes, Renee, how are you?
I love you. I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Are you ready for this weekend?
Oh, yes, we're getting ready, and the girls are so excited about it. So we can't just wait for everything to kick off tomorrow. So great.
I am so excited for you guys. I have no idea how much excitement I have for you guys. And Miss Erica, how are you doing today, beauty? Miss Erica? Okay, she may not be able to hear me. But Michael, what we want to do, we definitely want to hear from you with your closing words. And what we're going to be doing, we're going to be wrapping up. Thank you guys for joining us live on our Instagram. We're going to go right back into our amazing, we're on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. We're all omnipresent today. And then we'll return right back into the clubhouse. Michael, take it away.
So, Renee, I spoke at a couple conferences over the last month, and it's funny, most of them were women's conferences, which is funny, right? Like we get the opportunity to inspire. And one of the conferences, and as you were speaking, the Holy Spirit just led me to pull this up on my computer so that I could kind of end with this, and then we'll be over on Clubhouse. But I think one of the things that's most important that we have to do is we have to take mediocrity off the table. We have to take complacency off the table. We have to take defeat and worry and fear off the table, right? Because let's be realistic. Most of us are creators of comfort, right? It's understandable to get comfortable, right? Like Renee said, like I like to sleep like a bat. Like I'm with my weighted blanket and my 67 degrees and I'm like, we all want that. We want that with our income. We want that with our weight loss and our fitness journey and everything that we do, right? When you're comfortable, you stop achieving the goals that you're called to obtain. You hit a plateau and then you become stagnant, right? Mediocrity and complacency should never be a part of your identity. And here's how we can, here's what I'll land with, Renee. It brought up a scripture to my heart that we have to develop grit. We have to be persistent. We have to set boundaries. We have to be consistent. And we have to take action on what we learn. But here's what we have to do. And it's in Galatians chapter 6 and verse 9. And here's what it says. It says, let us not grow weary of doing good, for in due season we will reap if we do not give up. So it says, as for you, brothers and sisters, do not grow weary in doing good, being consistent, being intentional, for you have the need of endurance. Okay, so that when you have done the will of God, and done all the things that you're called to do, and used your gifts and used your talents and succeeded in these areas of your life, you may receive what has been promised, but the one who endures to the end will be saved, and they'll begin to prosper, and they'll begin to see themselves. When they look at themselves in the mirror, they see themselves the way God sees them, and they continue on with this consistency and this intentionality. And that's what's most important. And I always say this, Renee, when I end my podcast, which Miss Renee and I are going to be doing an interview here soon, right? Is I always say this: love God, love people, and live with passion, vision, and purpose. Thanks for having me today. God bless you all.
Absolutely. And you know what, Michael, we will truly continue on with this series. I always say this: make sure you hold your heads up, those shoulders back, because the world needs another game changer. And that game changer is you. So let's get busy, not only doing our responsibilities and our acts, but let's get busy living and stop existing. Guys, let's give it up for Michael David Huey for joining us for the GW3 Lunch and Soar today. We're taking over with not only our health, alongside with our wealth, but we're taking over our lives. We're going to be joining you guys right back into the clubhouse. Thank you, Michael.